Day 3.
Well, this is black rock without a burning man in sight.
We cut out of Susanville pretty early, took some highway, ended up in Gerlach, and then out on the playa that you see there. And this was quite unusual. I've been to Burning Man and didn't look anything like this. So it was kind of strange, though, because it was very crusty on the top and very loose sand under the crust. So when you were going slow, it was extremely difficult to control the bike. It was almost worse than the sand till you got rolling, and then it wasn't too bad. You could keep up on top of it. So that's kind of what we did. We just started boogieing across, and we had several miles of this, and boy, that dust just gets everywhere. So after rolling on this for a while, we finally got off of this onto some regular dirt trails, and then to a nice gravelly road where we kind of picked up the pace a little bit, cruised along, having a really good time. Glenn and Matt kind of held back a little bit so they didn't have to eat so much dust, and Carl and I just had kind of a ball ripping across there. It was a long stretch, but we made short work of it. Once we started coming into the more dry area, it was time for a break, and I didn't know it, but I stopped off at this cute little reservoir. It turned out to be Mud Meadow Reservoir, and I didn't know, but Matt had some pretty bad memories of this area, and so afterwards I thought it was kind of fun just to rub it in a little bit. After we hit the trail back, we'll call it a trail. I don't think anybody's been on this road since 1883, and I don't mean the movie. Most of this trail was buried. There were parts we couldn't even see it. Matt praising to the gods. I think he was asking for a little more trail. Got a little technical in spots. Here we're riding together, having a good time, but it got slow real fast. There were points where I kept looking down at the GPS going, are we still on the trail? And then I remembered, oh yeah, Matt picked the trails. Once it opened up, we got into a valley, and we've seen some cows along the way, and it hasn't been a big deal. The little babies, they get kind of spooked and run across, but here we started getting into a few more, and they were kind of all over the place, and it was a little bit worrisome because you don't know which way they're going to dart, if they're going to get out of the way or whatever. And if they kind of bump you, you're pretty much toast. So we kind of cruised through here slowly, and they shared their road with us, so it wasn't too bad. When we came around the corner here, though, it was no longer a thing of cows, it was cattle, and there was a heck of a lot of them. And I don't know what they were eating, but man, their dung was everywhere, and it was bad. But we couldn't see the road. They were all over it, and we couldn't tell. The road does look like it turns here, but then it just disappeared. I actually had to get off the bike, walk around a little bit, talk to Carl. We waited for Matt and Glenn to catch up to us. We weren't really sure if we should go across it or not. There was no real obvious track. So I did the only responsible thing. Talked to Carl a little bit. I waited for somebody else to go pioneer the trail. So Glenn decided to go ahead, and he went down and pushed the cows aside a little bit and found the rest of the trail. Okay, give it a go. Moo cow moo. This stuff was really, really soft. All the The cattle had been walking on this dirt, and just, it was really soft. We sank down into it as we were trying to ride through. It was not fun. But it opened up to a good road, and at this point we had a trail again we could see. It cruised along a little creek, and just turned into a real amazing scenery. Here I borrowed some of Glenn's video. Watch us go through the little canyon. Thanks, Glenn. Did a great job. The road once again opened up across the desert area, and we scooted along, got back up to speed, trying to make a little bit of time. We were trying to cover a good couple 100 miles a day. At times it got a little bit tough when we hit some bad areas, but when we came into nice areas like this, we didn't really want to hustle it through. The scenery was so spectacular. We went at a just nice, reasonable pace, looking around. Roads were great, and we just kind of flew along as best we could. I was flying so fast, I passed Glenn like he was standing still. And I just kept on the gas, looking around, taking my time, but going so fast, I eventually passed Carl like he was standing still too. Yeah, he's okay. Riding along here, I thought, boy, this couldn't get any better. This dirt was just perfect. It was packed, it was smooth. There were a few rocks here and there, but look at this. We come into Knott Creek Reservoir here. Like, once again, scenery just absolutely spectacular. Road is spectacular, and it was just making for a great day. Until you come around the corner and you see this. Yeah, this is fun. I got a little squiggly. Carl got a little too fast. Bumped aside, and well, thanks for the push, Carl. See ya. So I thought, oh, from here, that was probably the bad section. It's just a little rocky, and yeah, we're through it, so we're good. Good to go. Until you come around this corner, and it's not so good anymore. Yeah, a little bumpy. This is also where my fork seals decided they had had enough and started spewing oil out for just about the rest of the trip. I'll go into more detail later, but every time I went through something like that, they just started leaking worse and worse, and Matt and I kept putting oil in here and there, but it wasn't good at all. We finally pulled into Onion Creek Reservoir and decided to camp out there. We set up camp, and I had a lot of food, so I made food for everybody, and we had ice cream and hung out for the evening. It was great. See you on day 4.